Hey, what is up everybody? This is Blackblade, and why? So let me give you all some context. The first Titanfall was a game that I really wanted to play, but didn't for some reason. And now that the community's dead, likely never will. Titanfall 2, on the other hand, is a game I was convinced to purchase at release, something I don't tend to do, and I loved it. It's one of my go-to online multiplayer games, and next to Halo 4, the one I'm best at. However, I don't like Battle Royale games. Granted, I haven't played most of them, but I did grow up with the originator of this trend. Bet you weren't expecting that, huh? I learned then that this game mode can be fun, but oftentimes you're spending several hours playing the game and have nothing to show for it, something that, as I matured, doesn't really appeal to me. In 2017, when everyone was making a big deal about Battlefront 2, what bothered me the most was the news that Respawn, one of the few remaining respectable AAA developers, had been bought out by EA, making me concerned for the Titanfall series' future. So then the news came out that a free-to-play Battle Royale game with no titans and a loot box-oriented microtransaction system called Apex Legends would be released. And I imagine for every skeptical gamer like me, that raised every red flag in the book. It was obvious that this was just another Fortnite clone trying to be the next thing and failing because it's not. Wow. So apparently, despite what I previously thought, something about this game worked. And I want to find out what. Keep in mind that my goal with this video will not be to review the game, but rather through gameplay and footage find out the reason it exists and whether it deserves its success. So without further ado, let's get started. Stand by for Titanfall. Oh, that's right. So let's start by checking out the game. Honestly, my first impressions weren't that great, as I was greeted to the slew of things I didn't want to see, including 2 characters locked behind the in-game currency, and the gameplay that felt off. Movement felt severely dumbed down, and gunplay was unimpactful, with the time to kill being so long that it felt like using a pellet gun. I understand this trade-off was so that in a game which you don't respawn, you have a chance to react before you're dead. But here's the problem I have with this. When you strip away iconic features for a game to be fair or balanced, it often loses its identity, making it feel like every other first-person shooter and killing the trend faster rather than improving on it. The different characters added something unique at least though, and provides every player to experience something more akin to what they want. You'll notice through the footage that I almost solely played as Pathfinder because being able to grapple launch made it feel that tiny bit closer to what I remember. Anyway, the first 2 days I played this game were rough. I found little enjoyment and fewer things to compliment. There is one thing I could say from beginning to end though. The community on the Xbox version was fantastic. Usually in multiplayer games, the Xbox community is the most laughable of the bunch.
Dallas. What? You died.
But here I found the majority of people I came across to be friendly and cooperative, which is also in part due to the fact that this game's mechanics allow reliable teamwork and communication in the form of the ping mechanic, where you have a multitude of calls you can make to your teammates, including pointing out enemy locations. Despite having a microphone, in most lobbies I preferred to stick with this system, and it worked well enough. Now here's where the story takes a sudden twist. The third and final day that I played this game and capturing footage felt like an entirely different game to me. There are several factors that impacted this, I believe. The fact that many people I follow in the YouTube community made positive videos on the game was one thing, and the fact that I was getting good at the game was another. But the main impactor of this, I believe, was that I finally stopped looking at this game as Titanfall 3. It's clear, from the mechanics to even the name, that this is supposed to be related but different. And after accepting that, I could finally appreciate what the game has to offer. Combat felt a little more engaging, though weapons are still less powerful than I'd like, and I was having more fun overall. This was further solidified when I found a guy that I joined up with for a couple hours on Xbox Live. And after I had failed for several hours, 3 days in a row, this happened. Sadly, my capture card doesn't record party chat, but suffice it to say the rush of dopamine was immense.
You are the Apex champions.
But now that it's been a few days, my thoughts on this game have gone from bad to good to somewhere mixed. I honestly struggled writing the script at this point because, despite my best efforts, I could not be objective here. I think the game is decent, and certainly more deserving of the top spot than the Battle Royale games before it, but it's just not for me. I know, it's a cop-out, I'm sorry. There's still one question that remains though, and luckily, I can answer this one. What is this game's focus? To provide a fun, quality experience, or to cash in on a popular trend? Through my research, I can comfortably say the answer is both. To my surprise, the majority of articles and interviews on the issue frequently mention that EA had no involvement or influence in the development of this game. One excerpt from a Game Informer interview reads, "We decided to make this game. Not to be throwing EA under the bus, but this wasn't the game they were expecting. I had to go to executives, show it to them, and explain it and not convince, but more, hey, trust us, this is the thing you want out of us." Now I will admit, I didn't believe this was honest at first. Though I try to give them a fair chance, EA is the type of company to tell a subsidiary company what to say for good press. But what finally convinced me was another statement by lead producer Drew McCoy. Quote, "We're doing a free-to-play game with essentially loot boxes after we were bought by EA, and it's not Titanfall 3. It's the perfect recipe for a marketing plan to go awry, so I have that. Let's just ship the game and let players play." There is something so genuine, so self-aware about that statement that I struggle to believe it's not true. Additionally, there's information from multiple sources about how they planned on doing a survival-type game mode for Titanfall back before even PUBG took off, but then saw Battle Royale as perfect for what they were going for, which personally I don't think it had to have been a Battle Royale game, but I digress. Now with this piece of information, some of you might be wondering, why did I say both? Well, let's go back to the first quote I used. To get this game greenlit, Respawn had to convince EA that this was profitable, as that's their concern first and foremost. This is not a bad thing for a company to focus on, but EA doesn't just want to make money. They want to make as much as they possibly can. Introducing Apex Legends Storefront, the most unpolished aspect in this game. The cost of the items here, which you can get quicker by paying extra, is so obscene that it feels rushed, like they never got the chance to balance this aspect out. Or they didn't care, but I'm not gonna go there. Here's an example of how overpriced it is. Rather than unlocking any skins, I decided to save the acquired currency to unlock the other two characters, Caustic and Mirage. And in the 9 hours I played this game, I barely got halfway to unlocking one. Need I say more? So here's what I think. Despite all of the red flags and EA's reliable business model, there's a game at heart that Respawn genuinely wanted to make. And judging by their response to community feedback and talk of a new mode that incorporates what Titanfall 2 fans like myself feel are missing, I believe this game has earned my respect. But should you buy it? I think that question comes down to you. If you're already averse on Battle Royale games, this won't change your mind. But if you like them, then this game deserves your support, respect, and admiration as it's getting already. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button in half, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and I'm gonna take this moment to talk about Vanilla. No, this is not a sponsor, just a shout out. For the past 2 months, Vanilla has been working on building itself up to be an alternative to YouTube, putting creators first. And after an interesting exchange on Twitter, I decided to give the site a try. And though there's a lot missing there currently, most notably HD videos, they're consistently working on updating the site. And to support it as best I can, I will be uploading my videos both on YouTube and Vanilla from now on. So if that sounds like something you'd want to support, then set up an account and follow me there if you're interested. Alright, enough with the plugging. Once again, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.